The energy around Baltimore has felt different lately, and anyone following the Ravens closely can sense it. The offense that once opened games with fireworks now looks like it is grinding through every yard, almost as if something in the rhythm has shifted. The drop in scoring has become impossible to ignore, and it has added fuel to the ongoing conversations about what exactly is happening with this unit. At the center of it all, of course, is Lamar Jackson. His presence alone changes how defenses behave, but the version of him we have seen over the last stretch does not look like the electrifying force fans are used to watching. Each week seems to introduce a new physical issue, a new hit that leaves him limping or shaking off discomfort. And when your quarterback is dealing with that many bumps and bruises, the ripple effect hits every corner of the offense. Opposing defenses have started to take notice. Naturally, when Lamar is not threatening to escape the pocket with that sudden burst that only he has, the entire dynamic of the Ravens' attack becomes easier to read. Teams feel more comfortable stacking bodies near the line of scrimmage, daring Baltimore to beat them through the air and selling out to slow down the ground game. That extra layer of danger that comes from Lamar's mobility forces defenses to hesitate, to freeze, to guess wrong, but when he is not playing at full speed, that advantage disappears. It does not mean defenses suddenly stop respecting him, but it does change the way they respond. And we have seen the results over the past few games. And even beyond Lamar's health, there are other cracks showing. The offensive line has struggled in ways that have made every snap feel like a fight for survival. Protection collapses too quickly. Pockets shrink before plays can develop, and the constant pressure makes it hard for any quarterback to settle in. On top of that, the play calling has drifted toward predictability. Drives start slow. Momentum stalls at awkward times, and there are sequences where the rhythm just evaporates. It feels like teams are picking up on patterns earlier and earlier in games, making in-game adjustments that Baltimore is not answering fast enough. This has happened more than once lately, where an opposing defense seems to figure out the Ravens' tendencies before Baltimore finds a counter. But even with the offense searching for answers, the team continues winning games. That is what makes this stretch so complicated to evaluate. Lamar has not looked like the version fans expect, yet the Ravens have remained undefeated with him back on the field. It is a bizarre mix of concern and relief, knowing the team is stacking victories while still not playing anywhere near its ceiling. With a big divisional matchup ahead, everyone is watching closely to see whether a few extra days of rest can help Lamar regain some of the explosiveness that defines his game. The Ravens need it, especially with a banged-up roster and a schedule that has not done them any favors this season. Across the field, the Bengals are dealing with their own drama as Joe Burrow makes his return. That alone flips the entire mood in Cincinnati, especially after the team's record without him cratered into disaster. Whenever Burrow steps onto the field, the confidence level changes instantly. Even if questions linger about how sharp he can be after such a long layoff, he has always been a fierce competitor, the kind of quarterback who refuses to sit once he is cleared. And that mentality is exactly what pushes these Ravens-Bengals matchups into must-watch territory every season. These two quarterbacks bring out the best in one another, and the respect between them adds even more weight to every meeting. Baltimore knows it cannot rely on defensive dominance alone, especially not against a quarterback who thrives in big moment situations. The defense has bailed the team out multiple times this year, but the margin for error shrinks dramatically when facing someone like Burrow. And for Cincinnati, this game becomes a chance to claw back into relevance after dropping games that they absolutely should have closed out. Their season has been a mix of missed opportunities, late game collapses, and frustrating what-ifs. Getting their quarterback back gives them a spark, but now they have to prove they can capitalize on it. What makes this matchup so compelling is the sense that both teams are arriving at a crossroads. Baltimore has the chance to cement control of the division, especially with a favorable stretch ahead and momentum on their side. Cincinnati, meanwhile, is desperate to climb out of the hole they dug without their starter. One team is trying to pull away, the other is trying to stay alive, and both are relying heavily on quarterbacks who enter the night carrying visible signs of the battles they have already been through. Lamar's injuries have become a weekly storyline, each update more vague than the last. A knee 1 week, then an ankle, then a toe, and despite all of it, he continues to line up and fight through the pain. But even with his toughness, the hits are adding up. His sack rate is the highest it has ever been, and the physical toll shows in the way he moves. The way he avoids contact. The way he resets after getting knocked down. The offensive line issues only magnify the problem, forcing him into situations where he has to improvise behind shaky blocking. Still, as battered as he looks, he remains the heartbeat of the offense. When he finds a rhythm, even briefly, the entire unit lifts. Receivers get more confident. The run game opens up. The defense gets longer breaks, but lately, even the receivers have struggled, dropping catchable passes that kill drives and break momentum. It becomes a chain reaction. One missed assignment, one bad read, one drop, one sack. And suddenly the offense is sputtering again. The strange part is that despite all these flaws, despite the inconsistency and the unpredictability, the Ravens have pieced together an impressive winning streak. It is the kind of resilience that keeps them at the top of the division standings even when they are not playing their best football. And with the Bengals walking into this game with renewed life thanks to Burrow's return, the spotlight shines even brighter on Lamar and the offense around him. Both quarterbacks come in banged up. Both teams come in with something to prove, and both fan bases know exactly how much is riding on this matchup. The anticipation surrounding this matchup grows heavier as Thanksgiving night approaches, and both fan bases understand exactly what is at stake. The Ravens have clawed their way out of a shaky start to regain control of their season, but the tension around their offensive struggles continues to follow every conversation. The question that keeps surfacing is whether this team can find a true rhythm again before the pressure intensifies in December and January. Lamar Jackson's health looms over all of it, shaping expectations, shaping defensive strategies, shaping the ceiling of what this offense can be. His toe injury, which he revealed occurred early in the previous game, only adds to the growing list of setbacks that have disrupted his momentum. And although he insists he feels better in certain areas, it is clear he is not moving with the same confidence or sudden explosiveness that once defined his style. Still, the mini break heading into this game may provide the spark he needs for the Ravens. Even a slightly more mobile Lamar changes everything. It shifts the attention of defenders, forces linebackers to hesitate, and reopens lanes that have been clogged for weeks. This offense relies heavily on the illusion of Lamar hovering on the edge of taking off at any moment. That single threat shapes blocking angles, route concepts, and defensive assignments. Without it at full strength, the Ravens have had to grind through games in ways that make every drive feel like a test of patience. But sometimes adversity forces a team to find new layers of resilience, and that might be exactly what Baltimore is experiencing as it leans on its defense, its depth, and its ability to scrape through ugly games. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati, the mood surrounding Joe Burrow's return has shifted from cautious optimism to outright excitement. A season that once looked doomed without him suddenly has a flicker of hope, even if he is returning to a team with a messy record and slim odds when Burrow is on the field. Even at less than full strength, the Bengals play with a different edge. His leadership is undeniable, and his presence gives Cincinnati a chance in games that would otherwise feel unwinnable. The challenge is that he has not played meaningful football since mid-September, and the rust factor cannot be ignored. Timing with receivers, pocket movement, decision-making speed, all of these things can take time to return, even for a quarterback as naturally gifted as Burrow. But Cincinnati does not need him to look perfect. They just need him to be the player who elevates them and keeps them competitive in a game where everything could swing in a single quarter. Burrow's return also reopens questions about how the Ravens' defense will respond. This unit, which surrendered critical games earlier in the season, has transformed into one of the key reasons Baltimore is winning. The pass rush has tightened, coverage has improved, and the overall energy seems sharper now that the team has stabilized. Facing Burrow is always a challenge, though, because he thrives in collapsing pockets and excels at finding windows even when defenses think they've smothered his options. The respect between him and Lamar adds emotional weight to this matchup, almost as if both quarterbacks understand they are participating in one of the NFL's most compelling ongoing rivalries. Each head-to-head meeting seems to unlock another layer of their competitive relationship, and Thanksgiving night feels like the next chapter in a story that both fan bases have grown emotionally invested in. But the deeper storyline sits beneath the quarterback battle. It's the tug-of-war between two teams trying to redefine themselves mid-season. The Bengals have spent weeks trying to survive without their leader under center, patching holes, adjusting game plans, shuffling personnel. Joe Flacco stepped in and exceeded every reasonable expectation, giving the Bengals a fighting chance in multiple games that slipped away due to defensive lapses or small miscues. His play gave the team confidence, but it also highlighted how thin their margin for error becomes without Burrow's steady presence. Now, with the veteran stepping aside again, the Bengals are hoping Burrow's return reignites the spark that once made them one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC. Baltimore's midseason identity crisis has unfolded in a different way. Instead of missing their quarterback, they have had him on the field every week, but not in the form they are used to. Each game brings new reminders of how fragile this offense looks. When Lamar's mobility is compromised, the sacks pile up, the hits accumulate, and each tackle brings a collective gasp from Ravens fans who know how pivotal he is to their postseason aspiration. Even when the offense stalls, the defense steps in to save the day, pushing the team through stretches where the scoring dries up and drives crumble. The emotional roller coaster of watching this team is something Ravens fans know all too well, and the last few weeks have only amplified those familiar patterns. This matchup is more than just another AFC North meeting. The entire division has taken an unexpected turn this season, drifting far from the historically fierce battles and rising competition that once defined it. Injuries, inconsistency, and unexpected collapses have watered down the division's usual intensity. The Ravens and Steelers are clinging to the top, the Bengals have been trying to stay alive, and the Browns have shuffled quarterbacks like trading cards. It has been strange to watch, considering how powerful this division has looked in recent years. And it makes Thursday night feel like an opportunity for one of these teams to reclaim a sense of stability in a chaotic season. For Baltimore, this is a chance to take control, to build real separation, to create breathing room before the toughest portion of the schedule hits. For Cincinnati, this is a lifeline, a moment to prove that their season is not finished and that Burrow's return can still meaningfully shift the narrative. Both teams understand how important this game is, not only in the standings but in the emotional direction of their seasons. One win or one loss could shape the next month entirely. And beyond all the strategies and adjustments, the human element remains impossible to ignore. Lamar, dealing with pain, trying to push through and lead a team that needs him in every way. Burrow, eager to return, fighting against time, rehab, and doubt to take the field again. Coaches under pressure to adapt their schemes, linemen battling for every inch, receivers trying to overcome drops and inconsistency, defenses preparing for the quarterbacks who can break a game open on a single snap. These storylines blend into a night filled with tension, urgency, and the sense that something significant is brewing. Thanksgiving games always carry a certain weight, but this one feels different. It feels like a moment where two teams will reveal who they truly are. It feels like a turning point that both franchises will look back on, either as the spark that ignited a run or the stumble that shifted everything. For Ravens fans and Bengals fans alike, the only guarantee is that emotions will run high, and the outcome will ripple through the rest of the season. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens, and hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers have been circulating through the NFL world ever since the latest clash between the Bengals and the Ravens, and if you were paying attention, you probably caught the sparks flying after the final whistle. Joe Burrow, always sharp with his words, didn't hold back this time, throwing a subtle jab at Baltimore that had fans buzzing for hours. Some say it was classic Burrow, witty, precise, and just enough to get under the Ravens' skin. The kind of comment that seems harmless at first, until you realize it's going straight to the rival's locker room. Social media erupted immediately, with memes, hot takes, and every conceivable gif capturing the moment. Burrow's smirk said more than words ever could. But if anyone thought that was the end of it, they clearly underestimated Lamar Jackson. The Ravens quarterback, known as much for his on-field agility as for his off-field charisma, wasn't about to let the slight slide by unnoticed. Reports from inside the stadium suggest Jackson's response wasn't just verbal. It carried the weight of a player who knows how to turn a quip into a storyline. Sources hint that in post-game interviews, Jackson's remarks were measured but pointed, hinting at future showdowns and reminding everyone why Baltimore remains a force to be reckoned with. Some insiders claim his teammates were grinning ear to ear, enjoying the back and forth that felt more like a friendly sparring session than a heated feud. The NFL community thrives on moments like these. Analysts and fans alike have been dissecting every gesture, every tone, Every inflection. Did Burrow's words cross a line? Did Jackson's retort carry the promise of revenge? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the rivalry has been reinvigorated. Rumors now swirl about how the Bengals and Ravens locker rooms will handle the next encounter. Social media pundits are speculating on everything from pre-game warm-ups to sideline chatter. Even casual viewers are getting hooked on what seems to be a storyline, bigger than the stats on the field, at its core. This is the kind of narrative the NFL thrives on, the mixing of talent, confidence, and just a touch of swagger. Burrow's jab and Jackson's reply have created a buzz that will likely simmer until the next time these two teams meet, ensuring that fans will be talking about this showdown long after the stadium lights dim. If this is what the season promises, it seems we're in for a ride filled with drama, skill, and a rivalry that refuses to stay quiet. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.